Hello everyone. Welcome to Intellica session 3. Session will be of 90 minutes containing 15 minutes for question and answer. Attendees can write their question in question and answer section which will be answered by our panelists. Today's agenda will be parameter object, hyperlinking, then followed by question and answer. Parameters. In Intellicus, report gets its data by running pre-prepared query object. If query needs input at runtime by end user, it must have user-defined parameter associated with it. The value of input parameter are prompted to the end user while running the report or the dashboard. It is suggested that all the required parameter objects are designed before proceeding to create the query object that may use the parameter object. Since parameters are stored in a repository, it is used by one or more reports or dashboard. To create and save parameter object, you need read and write permission for the parameter object in that category. Since parameters are stored in the repository, administrator can grant the permission or revoke the access. There are different data types of the parameters like character, number, date, boolean. Parameter input type can be edit text, drop down, option, slider. Parameter can be multi-select, search, preview, linked parameter. So we will see all these type of parameter one by one through Intellicus screen. After that, we will be seeing how we can do the scripting. Let us navigate to create the parameter object. There are two ways to navigate to parameter object. One is by clicking the hamburger icon, navigate, design, parameter object. Second one is by clicking on plus icon and select parameter object. You can see this is the parameter object screen where you have multiple values which you can select, right? So the input type, as mentioned, it can be a edit text, drop down, option, slider. To create the parameter object, you must set up.
Kriti, your screen is not visible. It is grayed out here. Now visible. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, Divya. So we are on to the parameter object screen. As I mentioned, there are two ways of navigating to the parameter object. One is through clicking the hamburger icon, navigate, design, parameter object. And second one is through by clicking this plus icon and select parameter object. So here we can give the name of the parameter. It should start with PRM or PO. It is generally recommended, right? Then we can provide suitable caption to the parameter object. It will be rendered onto the report so that end user will able to understand what is the parameter, what I have to select based on the caption which is present over here. Then the data types are character, number, date, and boolean. Here you can give the size of the data type, right? Say for example, you are selecting the character field, then you have to define the size of it as per your data. Then there are input type, edit text, drop down, option, slider. Let us try to cover the edit text type of parameter. So I am creating one parameter, that is PO underscore product type. It is a character type parameter and it is a edit text type. So I'm just saving this parameter. Let me create one category to save my parameter. So I'm adding one new category. In that category, I can create multiple category as well. So I am creating one category for parameter object where I will be saving all the parameters, right? So this is the category which I just created and I will be saving all the parameter in this category. So it is generally recommended to save the parameter object, query object in the subsequent categories that you are creating while working on a project. Let us save this parameter object. Now, I am going to use this parameter object in a query object. Let us create one query object now. I'm choosing my connection as a default, which is demo report DB. Writing one query, select star from products. When you click on to the result, it is giving you all the data, but you wanted to give the user defined values. So it can be given by using this parameter product type, which I just created. You can see there is a product type column. So I will be using this parameter in this column, product type. So select star from product where product type equals to. So the parameter syntax is starting with less than percentage symbol. Then you may provide the name of parameter object, product type, you can comment any part of query using 2-, right? So in product type, I have these many values like LCD, CRT, right? So when I am running this query object, it is giving me error, right? That means I have to provide any default value. You can see the query is select star from product where product type equals to something is required over here. So you have to give a suitable default value. So I'm giving this as a CRT and just saving this parameter, right? For character and data type, you have to enclose this parameter in a single quote. Now, as you can see, I have given the default value as CRT. So that's why I'm able to see only the CRT data, right? Now, I can save this query object. Let me create one category for query object as well. I'm creating this category under webinar session 3. This is my category query object. Now, I am going to create report out of this query object. So you can go to navigate, analytics, smart view. You can create a smart view report. You have to select the query object from here. That is Q underscore sales, which I just created. So onto the filter tab, you can see this parameter, right? Since you have not given any caption, it is coming as blank over here. So you have to provide a suitable caption. Just saved it. Now let us reload this again. So under filter tab, you can see this parameter as a edit text. You can write anything over here, right? So for this, you should know the value of product type. So what are the different types of product type you should be aware of in edit text type of parameter, right? So I'm selecting CRT, then you will go, see the CRT data where product type is CRT. Let me give some another value, that is LCD. That means the LCD data will be reflected onto the report. You can check on this particular option prompt before each run. So when you check this checkbox, that means when you open the report next time, you will be able to see the filter screen first. Then user have to give any value and just click on apply, and data will be rendered according to that parameter. This is the use of prompt before each run. I'm going to save this particular report. So we have seen the edit text type of parameter which was created with the help of character data type. Let us create the option type of parameter. When you select the option, you can see in the this drop down source is getting enabled, right? You can provide two value One can be predefined and another can be dynamic. So in the dynamic, you can write your SQL query. I have to select product type. So once you click on verify, that means your query is getting successful and you are able to see the display column and value column. Since I have selected only one particular column over here, that's the reason I am able to see only one column in display and value. If I give two value, say for example, attribute product, that means in the drop down you can see the two columns which I have given over here. So what's the purpose of this display column and value column, right? So suppose you have data, for example, you have employee ID and employee names, right? So if you wanted to display employee name onto the screen, that means you have to give employee name over here, and in the value column you can provide the employee ID. So this is just for the display purpose, and this is the value which will be used while fetching the data from the database. One more important things to remember, this parameter object is running using default database. So you can select the required connection from here, which you have created using connection tab. My default connection is demo report DB. Thus, I have selected the default connection over here. If you accidentally done any mistake in the query, then it will throw the error as well, right? So it is the syntax error. Now let us save this parameter, and it is option type. Just click on save. Now I am going to reload this report again. So you can see this is the option type of parameter, and these values are getting repeated. That means it is fetching all the rows. So for that, what you have to provide, you have to select distinct product type from product. So in that way, your values for the product type will be distinct. You can see the radio button over here. This is the option type of parameter. So based on your data, you can create this option type of parameter. I'm going to select this plasma as one of the product type. So that means the plasma data is reflected onto the screen. Now I can create the predefined, I can provide the predefined values as well. If values are known in advance, you can create the predefined values. In the display, you have to give the display name, and in the value, you have to provide the value. Say for example, I wanted to give the display name as CRT tube, right? And you can just click on this plus icon so that the values will be present over here. Then LCD some more values we have like DLP, SLR. I can provide that. So I can provide the predefined list as well, right? So it will give only these values in the parameter from the predefined list. You can save this parameter and you can reload this report again. Once you click on reload, in the filter option, you can see these values are only reflecting which I had given in the predefined list, that is CRT tube, LCD, DLP. Now you can see the use of display and value parameter. In the display, I had given the display name as CRT tube, right? And in the value, I had given the CRT as a value. When I'm clicking on CRT tube, I am going to see the data of CRT. That means while fetching the data from the database, it is fetch the product type as CRT. One more important thing to notice over here is there is none option coming over here, right? If you don't want the none option to come over here, you can make this parameter as a mandatory. You can save this parameter object and just reload this report. Once you click on to the reload, that means the none option is removed from here. So this is the option type of parameter where you can see the radio buttons, right? You have seen this parameter while voting, whether you wanted to vote yes or no. So for this type of use cases, we can make use of option type parameter. Now, another important type of parameter is drop down. You can write the same query over here. Once you choose this particular option, drop down, that means a drop down list will appear onto the report for the parameter where you can see all the values of product type. I can give any predefined value or the dynamic value. Let us give any default value as well and save this parameter. I have created this as a drop-down type. Now, just reload this report. So onto the filter tab, you can see the drop-down list coming over here. So you can select the values from this drop-down. So this is a drop-down type of parameter. Suppose you have long list of values and you want user to provide the value and business user is not aware of your data. So in that case, you have to give what all values are present for running that particular report. So in that case, you can make use of drop-down parameter. So drop-down parameter can be single select or multi-select. Single select That means user can provide only single value. See, I'm not able to select the multiple values from here. I can select only one value. So this is the single select type of parameter. Now, if I wanted to make this parameter as a multi-select, I can also do that. Just click on multi-select from here. So when you click on multi-select, you can see these properties being visible over here. So maximum selectable value, that means how many maximum value you can select. Then enclosed by, whenever there is a multi-select, the values are enclosed in a single quote or a double quote. So you can specify the separator from here. Then you have the separator. The multi-select values are separated by comma. That's the reason the default separator is given over here. But if there is any other separator, then you can specify over here. Select default values. First is selected, all, none. When I click on selected, that means whatever value I select in this parameter object like TV accessories, it will be reflected onto the report. This is by default selected. If I give all as a value, that means all the values will be selected. And if I choose the none option, that means none of the value will be selected when it is prompted onto the report. Let me select one value, that is plasma, and just save this report. One important thing to notice while creating the multi-select type of parameter is that you are going to select the multiple values, and in the query object you have written the query in such a way that it will allow only one value to be selected. That means you have provided the equal operator. So equal operator will work for a single value. In case of multi-select, the operator is changed to in operator. Now you can select the multiple values, and these values will be separated by comma and will be enclosed in a single quote. I can save this query object now. Now I can refresh this particular report. Now you can see this drop down is converted from single select to multi-select. Now I can select the multiple values from here. Now you can see the pop-up. The length of the parameter select product type cannot exceed 30 characters. That means the value of the size which you had given for this product type parameter is 30, and since you had selected multiple values, it is going above 30. So in that case, you have to increase the size. I'm just increasing it to 300. Right? Now, when I click this particular, I have to save this. I have to reload this report. One important thing also to notice here is that I have selected only the plasma value. That's the reason Plasma is by default selected over here. Just click. I can select multiple values as well. You can see the plasma and TV accessory as a product type, which is reflected onto the report. I can select all values as well. Just selected all. Just save the parameter and reload the report again. Now you can see all the values are selected. There are 9 values and all the values are selected by default. That's the use of selected, all and none. If you select the none option, that means none of the value will be selected. Right? So till now we had covered edit text, drop down and option type of parameter using character as a data type. Also, we have understood what is the use of size. Now, we will be moving to another parameter, that is linked parameter. What do you understand by linked parameter? That means one parameter is linked to another parameter. Say for example, there is a country and states data and city. When you select on a country and you want the state of that particular country to be reflected onto the parameter, this property can be achieved with the help of linked parameter. So your data should be in a hierarchy in order to form the linked parameter, like country, state, city, right? Let us create a linked parameter. I have my product type. I am going to create one more parameter, selecting it as a drop down. PRM underscore product. Select distinct you can see when I given the name PRM underscore product, it was already present in our repository. That's the reason the cross mark was coming. So I have to change the name of my parameter. Let us look at the data as well. So if you can see, there is product type and product column, which is present over here. The product type can be the parent parameter, and the child parameter can be the product, right? So when you click on to the product type, you will be able to see the product which are associated with that product type. So this product type is my parent parameter and product is my child parameter. So I have to select distinct attribute, that means product from products, where product type equals to, we have to specify the name of this parameter, PO underscore product type. You can click on to the link. Since you have written the name of this parameter object, that is PO underscore product type, that's the reason when you click on to the link checkbox, this parameter is by default coming over here. And if there are multiple linked parameter, then it will be reflected over here. And if you wish to choose the parameter, then you can just select the parameter from your category and just move to here. That means that parameter will be selected over here. Here PO underscore product type is already been selected, right? So I can save this parameter. Under this category. Now, in the query object, we have a query that is select star from product, where product type is equals to product type. So let me create it as a single select. And product, that means attribute is equals to, we have to specify the name of product. So my products can be multiples. That's the reason I'm giving the in clause over here. Just making it as a multi-select. To save the query object. You have seen I had given two parameters over here. One is the product type and second one is the product in the where clause. It must be given as per your need. Whether it is a single select or multi-select, you have to give according to that. Now, let us look at to the report how the parameter are rendered onto the screen. So this is my product type and this is my product parameter. So you have to give suitable name. Now you can see when I selected CRT, the selected type, the CRT type are selected over here. Now when I select the plasma, the two values are getting automatically selected. Let me change this to camera accessories. That means your list is changing according to the value which is selected in your parent parameter. My parent parameter is product type and my child parameter is product. In this way, you can create the country, state, and city parameter as well, which can be linked. So there can be multiple linked parameter you can create as per your need. This is a single select and this is the multi select. I have selected DLP as my product type and attribute or product, all the values are getting selected, right? So this is a linked parameter which are interlinked to each other. Now we can see the slider type of parameter. I have the query with me. I'll make use of this particular query object. I'll write the query object. So let us see. This is the sales data which we have, where we have product line, manufacturer, product type, product name, which we already discussed. So this query is designed with the help of multiple joins. So we required some specific columns. That's the reason I have selected this particular data set. Now let us create a slider type of parameter. So in my data set, I have price column. So I'll create this slider type of parameter on price column. So you can see the slider option is disabled now. The reason being I cannot create the slider on character data type. Let me select number. So it is enabled. Date and Boolean. So it is applicable for number and date type of parameter. So for slider parameter, I have to provide the maximum and the minimum value. So I have written two functions over here. One is the max function and one is the minimum function. That means I am selecting two values. One is the maximum and one is the minimum. So minimum value I'll specify minimum and maximum value I can specify maximum. And this is the step value. So I can specify the step value over here. So let us look how this slider type of parameter will work onto the report. I'll make use of this parameter in this query object. I have to write the where clause. It is already there. I just need to add the condition to add the parameter. where price I have to provide any default value over here. That's the reason the query object was getting failed. You can see since the slider parameter is a number type parameter, so I am not passing the single quotes over here. Single quotes are required only case of the character type parameter and date type parameter. Let us create a report out of it. You can see the slider parameter look like this, right? You can slide or toggle this particular bubble, right? And just click on apply. It is applied on the to the price column. Let us give some values like 85. So we have data where the price is 85. So you can give the values. You can apply the greater than or less than condition as well, right? So that data will be reflected according to that. Okay, some parenthesis missing over here. Okay, so we had seen the use of slider parameter. How does it looks, and it is applicable for integer and date type of parameter. You can provide the value by entering in this particular box as well. Right? Another important thing to notice that I have provided the step value that is 5. That means when I'm sliding this, my values are getting increased by 5. Right? So this is the use of the step value. Minimum value is 85 and the maximum value is 2184. That's the reason we have to specify the minimum and the maximum value in this parameter. Right? So for slider type of parameter, we have to specify the maximum minimum value, step value, and it is applicable for number and date data type. Let us create a range parameter. In range parameter, you can specify the range. That means my price should lie between two numbers, right? Or my sales or my amount, it should lie between this minimum or the maximum value, right? So that's the use of range parameter. So in that particular case, you have to provide the range parameter name, upper default value, and the maximum allowed range. I'm just saving this parameter. Now, since there are two parameter will be applicable for range type of parameter. One is PRM underscore price 1 and second is PRM underscore price 2. So I have to make the changes in my query object as well. So my price should lie between this and the second parameter which I created. You can save the query object. You can reload this particular report and select the same query object again. Now you can see the range of values to be selected from these two toggles which are present over here. In the slider, you are able to see only one bubble, and in the range parameter, you can see the two bubbles present over here. The minimum and the maximum values remains the same, right? So maximum allowed range, here we have given 100. That means I cannot select the value which is greater than 100 between these two toggle. Since it is greater than 100, if you minus 760 minus 85, it will be around 600 something, right? So it should lie between 100. That's the use of maximum allowed range between two toggles, right? Just decreasing it. I can do this from here, and I can provide the minimum and maximum value from here as well. Now my minimum price will be 85 and the maximum price will be 175. I can drag and drop this price column to get the better clarity, right? You can see the price. When you click on sort ascending, the minimum price is 85. And when you click on descending order, the maximum price which is going 173. That means it is going in my range, that is from 85 to 175. So this is how you create a range type of parameter. Let us try to create a searchable type of parameter now. So this is the searchable type parameter. You can quick search or advanced search. You have to specify the query, or it can be predefined values as well. The minimum key length I had given 3. You can increase it to any values like 5, 6. So when you type the first 3 character, it will search according to that. Say for example, I am typing PLA. That means plasma is coming over here, right? So this is how the searchable type parameter look like. Let me use this parameter. Just save this product type. Let us use it in the same QO underscore sales which we have created. Let us create the report out of it. You can see now the search icon is present over here. That means this is a searchable type of parameter. You can type any value and the list will be reflected according to that. Right? So I just type plasma. So that's the reason the plasma is getting reflected onto the parameter screen, and I have selected that, and data is reflecting according to the value which I selected. So this is a searchable type parameter. Now let us try some date data types as well. I have my sale date column, right? So I can create the parameter using sale date, or it can be year as well. So let us create one date type of parameter. You can see the uses format and the prompt format which are coming over here, and it will be useful for the date data type. That uses format, that means this is the format it will gonna use in your query when it is fired onto the database. And this is the prompt format which will be reflected onto the parameter screen when it is rendered onto the report. This is the use of uses format and prompt format. Let me create a date parameter. Sale date, and it is in this particular format. Okay, so it is in format that is dd slash YYYY. So I can provide the format from here. You can specify from here dd slash YY. You can type as well. I can save this parameter. I can create to date as well. Just saving it to PRM underscore to date. So I have created two parameter. One is PRM from date and second is PRM to date. Now I'm going to use these two parameter in my query object. So it will be applied onto the sale date column. I have to give some default value to the PRM from date and to date both. Otherwise, it will get failed onto the query object. You can select any default value from this calendar icon as well, right? Also, there are some default values which you can select, right? You can select from this particular character icon, or you can select the current date, month start date, or year start date. So this is the option which is given to you, so you can select according to that. So let us use these two parameters in my query object. So my sale date should be greater than from date, and it should be less than my to date. Okay, so it is given in this particular format. So I can give this format as well. That means I can give the users format as it is given in HHMMSS format, right? So you can select it from here as well. Similarly, I have to give the to date as well. Okay, so there might be some data type issue which is happening over here. But you can make use of this date parameter by giving the syntax like this, right? Where your sale date should be greater than from date, or sale date is less than your to date. That means these two parameter will be reflected onto the report. I have one sample report available which is handy. So let us go through that. Here we will see how we had made use of scripting in parameter. right? So I have created these due date parameter, which is start date and end date. In order to use this particular report, I have created the query object, that is QO underscore sale. And these are the parameter which I have created. PO underscore start date and PO underscore end date. Right? So, and there is one more parameter, that is PO date option. You can see three parameters are present over here. One is date option parameter, radio button, and start date and end date. So when you click on date range, that means these two parameters are getting enabled. When you select another option, that means these two parameters are getting disabled. That is the use of enable and disable checkbox, which is present over here. For that, we had written some scripting over here in the advanced section. Right? So my event is on change. If my parameter value, that is PO underscore date option, this parameter, if we pass 1 as a value, that means it will enable my start date or end date. Enable, that means if you provide 1 as a value, then it will enable my start date and end date, as we have seen that, right? So this is getting enabled, else it is getting disabled by selecting these values. Else we are disabling PO underscore start date, PO underscore end date. So this is the use of scripting. We can do scripting using advanced option. You can write any kind of script as per your need. Then there is a visible option as well. If you check this, then the parameter will be visible onto the report. If you uncheck this, then it will not be visible. It will be hidden to the end user. So this parameter will be useful if you are creating some linked parameter, and if you don't want the second parameter to be visible to the end user, just by changing first parameter, you can the values in the second parameter will be changed, but you don't want it to be visible to the end user. So this is the use of visible checkbox. So we have seen how we can create the scripting in this scripting using the advanced option. One important thing to notice over here is that we can provide the comment, we can provide the parameter object name by providing the comment. So comments are starting with /*. Then you can write the parameter in angular less than percentage symbol, and it should just one after another. You can write the parameter names, right? So it defines the sequence of the parameter which will render onto the report. Suppose there are so many parameter, and if you have used all this parameter in the query object, it is not coming as per your needs. These are clustered here and there. So business or the end user is not able to understand which parameter to be selected first and which to be last. So in order to give the proper sequence, you can provide the comment and provide the list of parameter over here. As you see, this date option parameter is coming first, then start date and end date. So it is very clear to the end user which to select first. That's the use of giving the parameter by using comment. Also, it is useful while you are debugging any query or you are looking onto the log. Then in the log sections, these parameter will be replaced by values. So you will easily identify that what value has been passed to that parameter. Then there is a tree type parameter as well. So let me create one tree parameter. So for tree parameter, your data should be in hierarchical form, right? Say it can be country, state, city, right? I have already, okay. So I have created one tree parameter. So we can go through it. Okay. So I have selected the country, state, and city from the superstore order, right? So there are two types of tree parameter. One is the flat and the hierarchy. In the flat, you can give the flat structure. So my first top level hierarchy will be country. The second will be state and the third will be city. So in this way, you can create the tree parameter. Now let us see how it look like, how to use that. So I'm just select star from superstore order where country equals to PRM underscore tree 1. Let me create a report out of that. Let me test my connection as well. Some network issue at their end, but the tree parameter will look like it will form a tree like structure. That means you will able to see first is the country. When you click on the drop down, you will able to see the state, and then you can see the city. And if you wish to write some in the hierarchy, your query should be in hierarchical form. So Oracle database support the hierarchical tree structure. So you can try that option as well. Now let us see some hyperlinked report as well. Let me create one report from the query object which is present already. Q underscore sales data. You can see the hyperlink coming onto the product column, right? How this hyperlink is coming? So you can see the query object. You can just click on to the edit data source. So this report is created out of this query object, that is Q underscore sales data. You can click, you can see this particular icon onto the format step where the hyperlink is applied onto the product column. This particular icon is for hyperlink. And when you click on these three dots, That means in the drill down to another report, I have selected product detail as my hyperlinked report. So when I click onto the product, it will be linked to another report, that is product detail. And you have to specify the parameter name, which is passed when it is redirected to another report. Then this is the report parameter name, and this is the value field, that is the name of the column. Right. So when you just click onto the onto this particular hyperlink, it will let you to product detailed report. So whatever the value you have selected, I have selected tripod stand. So that's the reason that tripod stand will be reflected onto the product detailed report. This is how the hyperlink is created. You can see, so first of all, you have to create one query object with the help of which you can create this particular report. And in that query object, you can give the you can check on the hyperlink option, and you can select which report you wanted to use as a hyperlink and on which column, and which is the parameter you gonna pass on to the report. The query object of this particular product detail is q underscore product, where we are passing prm underscore product underscore hyperlink parameter. Right, this is the parameter which we had specified in the hyperlink section. So this is how you can create hyperlink report using parameter object. Then you can create the Boolean type parameter as well. In case of a Boolean type parameter, the input type are 1 or 0. So it will be a kind of checkbox which will be rendered onto the report. Right? Let me make this as a Boolean type parameter. I'm just saving this parameter. I'll make use of this parameter onto the query object. I am going to create a new query object. I just provide it in the comment section. Let me create a smart report out of it. Click onto the filter option. You can see how the Boolean type of parameter look like. So this is a kind of checkbox, and it accepts two values only. One is 1 or 0. It can be yes or no. You can check or uncheck it as per the need. Right. So this is how the Boolean type parameter is created. So we had seen all the type of parameter, edit text, drop down option, and all these properties as well. This is all about parameter object. We had seen scripting. Now question and answer.